Hey, just wanted to go over this action. I've been watching it. We had a long signal on the 1 minute chart template, at least the one I'm using in the evening, US hours evening session. We did have a ramp. You can see there's a big pop right here as we get into right as the futures really starts picking up for the DAX in Germany. Typically that's about 1 o'clock US Central Time. Then at 2 o'clock US Central Time is when their equities markets start kicking off and things get active. You can see there's been what is very obvious institutional activity. They've been in here buying the DAX as well as US instruments. They will frequently use the DAX as a tug that will tow the markets higher in the overnight session by not only buying US futures on the indices, but they'll buy the DAX too. Got to think, if they can buy the DAX and move it a lot, it doesn't take a lot of liquidity to do that, and then the US futures tend to follow. So it's kind of a game. But anyhow, I initiated another new TPT account. So basically you can have 5 TPT accounts per tax ID sign up. So if you have 5 in the LLC name with 1 EIN number, that's one set of 5. You can have 5 in your name under your tax ID like social, that's another 5, and so on and so on. So that's how it works. And each set of 5 need to be doing something different. You don't want, let's say, an LLC with 5 doing the exact same thing trading as maybe one on a personal sign up, 5 accounts under your social. Now, I personally think it is smart to only trade prop accounts. You should cash out all prop accounts in your own name on a tax ID, such as a social, and move everything over to LLC or S Corps. There's reasons why, that's a different video, but it has to do with US banking. I'm hearing more and more traders that are having prop money go into a personal account in your prop signed up accounts, and banks are preferring to see those levels of flow into your personal account go into a commercial account. Just like if somebody had Stripe income or Etsy income or Shopify, they don't like to see a lot of that any longer go into a personal account. And it has to do with bank reporting changes that unfortunately took place going back in January 1st of this year. And some of it on the corporate bank account side is what they call CTA, Corporate Transparency Act. So something you should check into, but I advocate any new prop accounts you ever sign up for going forward, do it under an LLC sign up or an S Corp sign up, or whatever business entity you're using, and maybe an outside US based business account. Okay, so let me show you something here. We did have a key level sweep. So we got some nice range extension since the level sweep of a key level. Let's go look at that level. Here was the lift yesterday in the later part of the day. So you can see we were selling off. So in the morning, we had that short signal pre-market, leading up to pre-market, and then post the US session open, we were a seller. We did have some lift into the end part of the day, and that's that peak pivot point on that lift. We've just cleared above that. So let's go over here and take a look. You can see we just cleared above that. And that's pretty good considering all the selling we had in the evening session after the regular, Wednesday session had finished the day and we moved into the overnight. That's one heck of a rally to be all the way back up here, and we've cleaned out that level. Now we do have news that will be hitting this morning. The US session kind of opening range, that would be another key level I would watch during US session hours. This is the MNQ. So that little lift right there, right out of 8:30 U.S. Central Time, right there about the 19650s, just above that, probably about the 19660s area. Can watch that during the U.S. session. We're nowhere near that level as of yet. You know, that's much higher than where we are trading around the 19,500s level. So this is kind of a little level I was watching. We traded through it. So I decided to come in here and throw on some orders here to the short side in one new TPT account, building up a set of new fives, and then on one of my existing accounts. So I hit it as a manual trade. This is just a manual trade, like a level sweep play. Now I do want to show you the main reason I'm shooting this video too. I want to show you the scalper. I've been really starting to get it pretty dialed in. You can see about, 5:55 U.S. Central Time or Chicago time. Just a little bit after that, we've been long the entire time since then. You know, when that's happening, and if it wasn't because of some major news that where the whole world suddenly turns into a buyer from Asian markets session going into London market session, this is a lot of institutional coming in and juicing futures, on the U.S. session, and then especially from 1 o'clock Chicago time in the morning going forward, things start picking up for the DAX trading. And then at 2 a.m. U.S. Central Time, all the way up pretty much to our pre-market session, getting in around 7:30-ish U.S. Central Time, in a fair amount of days, week to week, we have news at 7:30 U.S. Central Time. Then things start kind of handing off where the bias moves away from what's happening in the EU region markets over to ours. So end of day, we had a bit of activity right into the late part of the day. There's 3:30 U.S. Central Time. We have a little bit of reaction going forward from some of the company news that was hitting after the U.S. cash markets are already closed at 3 o'clock p.m. Chicago time. So the stock market closes at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Chicago time. So this time right here is on U.S. Central Time. From Texas is U.S. Central Time, Central Texas. So anyhow, great activity. Had some really good activity yesterday. I'm really starting to get time frame and settings dialed in for a certain way that I'm going to use the scalper, where I'm probably even going to let it run like constantly. Like I have some settings where when I get flips, I'm going to do certain things. And other than a news release, I don't want it on, on a news release on this low of a time frame. So let's say there's 7:30 in the morning news. I will close out trades probably 5 minutes before a news release. So let's say I'm long, and let's say it's coming up on 7:30. I'd close out the longs at like 7:25 U.S. Central Time, and then I'd allow the automation to start looking for trade activity again at 7:32 U.S. Central Time, Chicago time going forward. If it's a really, really major news release, then I might not allow the scalper to look for trade activity from, till 7:33 to 7:35, like non-farm payrolls, 7:33 to 7:35. I would let the strategy start looking for trade activity again. On the regular iGRID, I don't mind it coming on about 7:33 even after a major news release. That's a little bit like intraday position trading. On the scalper, I'm going to move that window out a bit. Might go as far as 7:35 a.m. Before I'd allow it to start taking trades. Right? I'm basically getting in, grabbing a piece, moving stops to break even, get a flip, letting go of that. Getting long, stops to break even, grab a piece, and then she stays in till I get another flip. So flip to flip. flip to flip to flip to flip to flip to flip type of trade activity that I could utilize pretty much round the clock. So, I've really been working with the scalper. Now, that's one way I can use it. Other ways I can use it is to just be hitting, like entry one entries out of entry one conditions to the long side when we're in up cycle, working entry ones to the downside when we're in down cycles in certain time windows. That one I'll be more selective about my time windows where I'm going to trade, if that makes sense. The flip to flip, I'll probably, obviously I'll look at the optimization, but I'm really seeing I could literally be working this for very large periods, almost the entire trade day every day if I wanted to. And I would do that again just to get to a daily goal. Just another way to build another mousetrap to get me to a daily goal. So my daily goal on an account running with this strategy might end up being higher than what I do with the regular iGRID strategy. So it's just a matter of dialing in stuff and then taking one approach and trading for one daily objective, taking another approach and going for a different daily objective. Now, another way you can use an approach like this is, let's say on a 150K account, I'm going for 710 a day. So the second I'm in a trade and P&L hits 710, it blips me out. So after slippage, the idea is to be somewhere north of 700 a day, just trading MNQs. So another way you can use an approach like this is say, hey, every time I get a flip, get me 300 and close out the trade. Okay, I get my 300 on that down segment. Now I got 300 in the bank. Then I get long. Then I lose a little bit. So I'm down from 300. Let's say I'm at 220. Then I'm short. And she flips. Let's say I'm up to 240. Then I get my 300. So now I'm at 540. And then the next trade, I get to my 710 and it blips me out. So there's all different ways you can take these strategies that we have for you and new ones that we're adding to the mix and use these to go attack the markets by what the optimization data is showing you and templates that we're giving out and going and then utilizing a particular strategy to go attack the market a certain way. Like if I have a 710 goal, I could just go, okay, get me 355. So trade one, I get my 355. So I'm halfway to 710. This one I lose a little bit. This one I make a little bit. So let's say I'm still at about 350. Then this one goes till I tag 355. Okay, now I'm above 700, but I've hit 710 and I'm done for the day. You know what I'm saying? It's just like there's different ways. So you can use the regular iGRID where you might just get in one trade and one and done. You can break your daily objective into smaller pieces and do it with something on lower time frames that's more targeted. That's another approach. And then another thing that I'm working on is for the manual discretionary trader that doesn't want to do a lot of thinking. Okay, I'm long, I play the long side. Okay, when I get a flip, whatever's going on with any portion of the position that's long, okay, I'm gonna work the short. Get a certain amount of movement, stop goes to break even plus, get more movement, get to a daily objective, whatever, leave it on, let it run. Get a flip, got to play the other side. Get a flip, got to play the other side. Get a flip. So in other words, just follow your instruments. When you're in the clouds and you're flying, follow your instruments. Don't try to figure out if you're right side up or upside down. Use your instruments. So let me put up an email address here real quick. So we're on the verge of some really big stuff here and some really brain dead simple trading over on top of what we've already put out. For details and to find out what the current special offer is, info@gridalgo.com. Talk to you later.